Because we'll watch
That's
this
been our
and
show.
say, like,
Kidding me.
dance anime!
Anyways, my topic. So my topic is I was going back and forth between different topics. I don't know which one was like the right one to say and all that, but
Right.
I landed on losing interests in certain things. And the reason why I say this is because, like, we are, the Dance Anime Podcast. We're Dance Anime. And if you were an early adopter and fan of this channel, thank you for your support.
Yep.
But we had Doki Doki Anime Club, right?
Yes, sir.
Which was our anime podcast, our bi-weekly anime podcast that posts each and every other Friday. I remember that. And eventually, slowly but surely, we just kind of fell out of it. People got busy. Kayla does like retail and all that, which was like my co-host. But eventually, with that, like, even if me and her were free, we had nothing to talk about besides like the news or anything. Like usually, like we would talk about like what we're watching and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I fell out of anime for like so hard, and it's just like no, it doesn't really like excite me in a way, or like I guess I'm losing motivation to start one and start many.
Oh, it's so hard for me to that. It's so hard for me to start watching.
Yeah, and
anime.
I'm sure like once I'm in.
Yeah, that's how it usually is.
But I like getting that motivation to like actually go through it, and then like not only that, like if we go to like video games, which is like another subset of this channel, like we talk about video games and we love video games. Like there's no like hiding behind that fact.
Yep. Video games are
and I kind of
in my heart.
I know you game a lot more, but like I fell out of it. It's just like I'll start a game and it's like I'm not feeling. I think only like just
I kind of did that too, though. Go ahead, finish.
Just recently, like obviously I just played Celeste, and like honestly that has been hitting the spot. Hitting the spot. I'm gonna play it like after this, but like but in the general like consensus was that like I play a game here and there, not too much for a long time. I was trying to play Resident Evil 8 before that shit the bed. I think I want to go revisit that just on my own time now. But just like little things like that, and it's just like, how do you remedy that? And like, haven't had any stories of like falling out of like
of course.
Of various interests?
Of
like,
course.
Yeah. And then like, because like right now it's like I feel like there's like this overstimulation kind of thing with like digital media and all that. Like even like shows and movies aren't really like hitting me the way. I actually just picked up like books.
Yeah.
I just started reading, and that's like the fix I need actually. So I think it's gonna reset me, hopefully.
Yep.
But I'd love to hear some of your stories.
I mean, it's hard for me to always. I back in the day, I would always watch anime. I loved anime, just as much as you did. But I feel like nowadays, I don't know what happened to me, man. I just don't. I have like no motivation to start up an anime, and start up, even like movies and stuff. And even when people are getting hyped about it, I'm like, is it that cool?
But is it hype?
Yeah, but I always have that doubt in my head. Like, even our friends are like hyping up something, and I'm like, and I kind of feel like a dickhead. I'll be completely honest. I feel like a dickhead because they're getting hype and like, yo, you should watch this. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. And usually, I think it's going in with that mindset too, where I'm like, okay, let's try this. Let's see if it's actually that shit. And I'll be watching it, and then maybe it's the mindset or something. But then I watch it, I'm like, it's kind of underwhelming. Like, it wasn't really that cool. And I kind of feel like a asshole for that, but I don't know what it is, and I don't know the solution to getting back into interests. But like when it happens, and I definitely enjoy it. I actually just started watching out of nowhere. I don't even know why. I started watching Gantz, which is kind of not even the good. It's not even like amazing or bad. It's just like alright.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've just been enjoying it for some reason, and it's kind of out. Like the shit that happens in there is pretty gnarly, and for especially for today's day and time, some great. Yeah.
The thing is, like back in that time, the anime was like so raw, and they weren't afraid to go there.
Yeah, they weren't. But yeah, losing interest even happens to me with dance all the time. I don't know what it is. Even video games has happened to me. I don't know what it is. Sometimes I'm just like, I just feel uninspired, or I guess dance is more specific. I feel uninspired, or I don't want to do something. Maybe I'm self-conscious or something. So that's kind of another topic. But for even for video games, I remember in like 2017, 2016 maybe. I do go through some periods where, even right now, I'm kind of going through a period where I just don't play any games. I don't want to play any games at all, unless they're ones that speak to me, like my favorite games, like Final Fantasy VII Remake June 10th or whatever. Gonna stream it on Twitch.tv. No, but I'll probably stream it when that shit hits midnight.
Yeah.
Certain games like that will bring me back into the mix, but I always felt bad too, and also felt like an asshole when our friends are talking about some game or hyping it up, even you, like for example God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, and I go in and I play these games and everyone's hyping it. Same thing with anime. I go into it, I was like, is this really what you guys are like freaking out about? And granted, I hardly dented God of War. I'll definitely get back to it when the sequel comes out, and I'm sure it's a banger, along with the entire world confirming that it is a banger. Same thing with Ghost.
I'll have you know, my recommendations, they don't miss. Do they miss? Because I very seldomly recommend something. Very seldomly. When I do, is that the right word, seldomly?
That's like
more?
Yeah. No, less.
Less. Okay, cool. Seldomly. I very seldomly recommend shit. Like
I even recommend shit even less.
Yeah. Like anime and like games, because I know what I like, but I have to like be so sure to recommend stuff that like I know it's gonna hit. Like I think the last thing I recommended to you was Undertale.
And that became one of my favorite games of all time.
Absolutely.
I could even, I don't want to get into it, but it could even be one of the best. But I love that game. Yeah, great game.
I just beat it. Oh, so
It's a
good.
game. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I've been hyped all these games and anime or whatever, and I go into it, and then everyone's like, "Yo, how was it? Did you like it or whatever?" And I hate doing it. I really do.
It was fucking trash.
I see it for what it is, because I'd like to think I'm not blind by my whatever the hell I'm going through, but I'm just like, yeah, it's cool, but like right now it's just not hitting. It's not for me. That being said, I was gonna say this before, that I've hardly dented God of War. I'm sure it's a banger. The world thinks it's a banger. Same thing with Ghost. And I'll probably get back to these games before the sequels come out, if there is a sequel. And I'll get to it anyways, if not. And I'm sure there'll be bangers. And one thing that kind of ruined it for me, is kind of a segue, was that around the time of, I forget why God of War, maybe just college, going back and forth, because that was like, what, 2018 or whatever? 2017? I don't know, whatever.
Around there.
I was in college, and I was thinking maybe it just wasn't the vibe. I was just playing like quick games, like a BR, like a Fortnite or a Call of Duty quick match, one more, instead of a narrative experience. And I remember the thing that happened with Ghost was that I literally just got off of playing The Last of Us 2, which I personally really liked a lot.
I fucking adore that game.
Yeah, you love that game.
Adore that game.
It was funny. This is not going to become a Last of Us thing. Real quick, though. I remember playing that game was so weird, because I was wishy-washy. I was going back and forth.
You were going through it. I remember.
Yeah, every single night I would come to you and say something opposite of what I said yesterday.
Yeah.
It was super weird.
I remember, yeah, you were so wishy-washy. You were so like, no. Actually, no, it's really, well.
Yeah, I was really wishy-washy. But when the credits rolled, I was like, no, this
is the one.
This is the one. And I don't want to make this a Last of Us thing, but I lost my track. Man, that game went into my mind, and it was GG. Well, yeah, okay. So I just got off of that, and I really liked it. And then Ghost comes out, and for some reason, I was like, this just does not. I don't want to cause. This is gonna cause some controversy, but I just like, this is not hitting like The Last of Us 2 was, and it's partially because I don't really. I used to love, but right now I kind of don't really / don't have time for open world games. It kind of wasn't my vibe, and at the same time that happened, another aspect to me not playing that game was you just started getting to PC gaming, and I started to see like
Sekiro and all that.
Yeah, Call of Duty, 144 frames, and I was like playing like a good amount on your PC, all the frames.
Okay.
Then I went back.
I see where you're going with this.
Then I went back to play Ghost like after all that.
Yeah.
And I was like, Last of Us 2 looked incredible. The facial animations, the frame rate of your PC, and I go to Ghost, I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah, I mean it's super jarring to go like see ultra settings, 144 hertz, and you go back to like console gaming, like previous gen console gaming, 30 frames, and it's just like.
And I feel so bad and guilty because my friends love it, and I'm not like reciprocating the same energy, or the world is loving it, and it's part of the culture that I very much love, and I'm like.
Part of me feels like I would love that shit.
Yeah, I think you would. But yeah, that's an interest that's been on and off. But when it's on, video gaming, when the interest is on, it's on. Like I'm playing like everything. I'm a trophy hunter. If you don't know what that is, it's like collecting all the achievements in a game, all the whatever they may be. And I love getting all the achievements because I think it's just like experiencing the game in full and like everything it has and like all the challenges and everything. Like if you really love a game, I'll go and platinum it, even if it's kind of like easy or whatnot. I think it's getting a platinum is fun as gaming in itself. I think like doing challenges is really fun to me. I like challenging games, and games are kind of getting easier. Not easier, but games are kind of easy nowadays because we've been playing games since we were kids, and it's just like
I think they're trying to like cater to like almost everyone.
Yeah, which is fine. But yeah, even like right now, I'm going through a drought with my interest in gaming, and I'm just the only thing I'm playing is like Genshin because I'm not gonna lie, Genshin saved it. If it wasn't for Genshin, I wouldn't be playing shit right now.
Yeah, I'm liking Genshin. I'm playing it at my own pace, and I'm loving it.
Unless my friends hit me up for like some other game, but let's be honest, they don't really. They're doing their own thing. It's whatever.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, Genshin. Like I remember, Genshin came out during the perfect time. It was during quarantine. I wasn't playing any games. It was miserable. I was just sitting home all day, whatever. And then Genshin came out of nowhere, and I was like, I remember thinking like, this might be all right because I didn't really. I
was so excited for Genshin. I remember like looking into it like
me too,
a year ago or something like that. And
I was hyped for it too, and then I figured out it was a gacha game, and then I was like, oh, I hate gachas. And then I figured out all this. I know everything about the game now, and all the. I'm AR 56. If you guys know, you know. Like, I know everything about everything, and I know the strats to pulling on the gacha. If you know what a gacha game is, it's pretty much like gambling. It's literally a lottery to get, like, certain characters and weapons that you want.
Pretty much.
But there is a strat to Genshin, and, yeah, that game just put me back into the mix. I love that world. I love the music. I love the characters. I like the colors. Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
That shit saved my gaming, because during the pandemic, when I was doing fuck all nothing, and it was miserable, that game would literally help me get back into gaming, and like I feel like my mental health too, because it was just so incredible, just like gliding across everywhere.
And it was like beautiful landscapes.
Yeah, all the beautiful landscapes, the biomes, the music, so good. Do I have a solution to getting back into interest? No, I don't. I do not have that answer for you. Maybe you guys do. If you guys want to answer any tips that how you guys could get back into interest or whatever. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you just need a motivator. But even then, like someone to push you, be like, yo, go back to doing this or doing this. Or, I mean, like, I'm thinking specifically of dance. Like, yo, go dance. That only goes so far for me for some reason. It doesn't really push me. Even when people are like, oh, you did so good, and then they kind of forget about it or whatever. And don't really mention dance until you post.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I guess what would help me is friends reaching out. I guess interest in general, reaching out if they have a mutual interest, like video games, and they hit you up and like, yo, let's play this together. I think that gets me back into it.
Yeah.
If someone's like, yo, come over, we should, or even you, it's like, yo, you got it. You do this a lot, and I always decline you, but like, yo, we should watch this. Like, you should watch this. You should watch this. Like, yo, come over, we should watch this anime together. That would definitely help me get back into shit like that.
Yeah.
And then you start talking about it, and then all of a sudden you have Doki Doki Anime podcast number 300 by doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But no, I don't really have an answer. Help.
I mean, I want to say it's the overstimulation. Like, if you think about like the first time, I guess like the first time you played a game ever, right? It's the first time you ever played. It is the most majestic thing I've ever existed. Now we don't even think about it.
Yeah, now we're spoiled and jaded as hell. I say this to you all the time.
Yeah,
I don't want to get into it.
And even like think about, I don't know, say we had a puzzle right here.
Right.
And you do the puzzle once, you're like, wow, it's a damn good puzzle.
I love puzzles, by the way.
And you just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it to the point where you memorize it. It's not fun anymore.
I guess at that point it becomes competitive within yourself to speedrun it, I guess.
You have to find certain ways to like make it fun.
Yeah, true.
But that being said, I think that like one, don't go into different avenues of certain things. Like the fact that like games aren't hitting for me, right? Like for the most part, like certain games, a majority of games aren't hitting for me right now.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm going into Genshin and I'm barely playing Genshin. I'm going in, I'm getting like my primo gems. That's it. Celeste actually hit really hard, so that might be like a good like kind of game. And I haven't like touched
bite-sized games will definitely help get back into the narrative solo, like a solo game experience instead of multiplayer.
Yeah, especially like into like compared to like heavy experiences.
Yeah, heavy whatever, like multi-hour open world experiences where I'm like, I can't really do this right now.
Like heavy deep story and all that. Yeah, but like
unless it's like really a game that what's the word? Something with you. resonates with you.
Oh, okay. So like, I think going into like the things that you've never done before, like changing up certain things in your life, I think easily can heighten those certain experiences. So like, I barely have time to read, or I don't have time to read because I was playing, games and doing all that.
Yeah.
Now they're not hitting, and I'm like trying to look, and you spend the rest of your day like, oh, let's try to play this game. Oh, not hitting. Let me try to play this game. Oh, not hitting.
Right.
I'm gonna try to watch this thing. Oh, not hitting. When you could just be using that to like find a different hobby, or like go like me going into reading, I'm like, dude, this is like stimulating my brain in a way that like that I needed, like compared to like this kind of maybe monotonous kind of thing.
Maybe that's a solution. Getting other interests, and then somehow maybe it relates to another interest, or it brings you back to another one some way somehow. That could be a thing. And
like even things like, say, if we're gonna stick on gaming, like if you only play like first person shooter kind of things, like try a rhythm game out.
True.
Just try it. Like,
games are great. Just play everything.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why like I felt bad too with this. Well, like my friends hitting me up to play certain games, and I'm like, I don't really know. I've played this for X amount of years. I kind of don't want to do this again. They are fun, but like I'm just on a different wave.
Yeah, that's why you'll see like when, because I'll hype a game up. When I'm like, oh my god, this game fucking slaps. Like usually it'll be the game that just came out of nowhere and that was just so different from everything, art style, all that stuff. So like I'll be playing, your Last of Us 2, your Ghost of Tsushima's, all that stuff, God of War.
Yep.
But then like a little game like Helltaker comes out, and I'm like, this is so good.
That
like,
game hit.
This kind of like hard puzzle thing, and the writing is kooky, and like
it's bite size is nice.
Yeah, the puzzles, and even if I want to throw like even a bigger game out, like It Takes Two.
I love
shaking up
love that. Such a love letter to just gaming in general.
Yeah,
that was a game that like straight up could revitalize, and it kind of did partially until I had nothing to play because everything's $70 now. But I remember after playing that game, that revitalized me. I was like, damn, gaming is great. Gaming is
like video games are so cool.
Yeah, I was like, gaming is just incredible. It was such a love letter to like games of the past and everything. I started remembering all these memories from all of these other games I was playing. Incredible. And the best part is it Takes Two. You can only play it with another person.
Like that's the only way to play it.
That's the only way to play it. So that added to the experience where I was like, gaming is incredible. I have all these different flavors and tastes, and you could also play with your friends. And it kind of reminded me of like why gaming is so fun. Not to say that solo experiences are bad. But yeah, playing with your friends and just the different flavors in gaming is incredible.
And also, I think just taking a break,
like
just straight up, just take a break.
Take a break.
I think we can something we can go stay.
I got so much on my plate. Yeah.
Shout out to you, Hamilton. But the like taking a break, like just straight up, just walk away from it for a while. However
Q-tip, walk away.
Q-tip, walk away. However long it needs to be. Like I think just walking away from it for a while, like to reset your brain.
No, that's true.
And overstimulation, because I think
that's okay to take a break. Yeah.
Because I think the one thing that people always kind of, especially in 2021, is that like if I don't play the next game as soon as it comes out,
you're missing out. Ship sales. You're out of the loop.
No, I wasn't even gonna go there. I was gonna go like I'm a fake fan. Like people have this.
Yeah, I feel that too.
Because I used to be like that. I used to be like.
I feel like I still am like that.
I used to be like that.
You call yourself a gamer. You haven't played God of War. You haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn. You haven't played Ghost of Tsushima. You haven't played. I get into that trap too. Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Like I used to think like that back in early college to high school. It was like if I did not play the latest game. And I couldn't talk about it because I go on to news sites. I go to IGN,
it's part of the culture,
Kotaku, all that stuff.
Part of the culture that we're in.
Yeah, and it's just like if you're not talking about it, you're late, and it's like you're almost like not a real gamer.
It's that FOMO, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you start feeling like you're not a real gamer. Everyone's talking about, whatever anime's out right now, and it's just like, well, like I think. Coming to terms with that, like, okay, I can miss out on certain games, revisit them later despite not being part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Start a new one later,
know what's the thing that ruined it for me too with God of War is that it accidentally got spoiled for me from my friends, and I was like, maybe subconsciously or maybe definitely that took a toll. I was like, maybe I didn't you know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to go play this game anymore. But I'm kind of
it's so worth it. It's so worth
it.
it.
No, I definitely. But like, of course, for the first whatever 5 minutes after that the spoiler just happened, you're like, you get so spiteful. Like, I don't even want to play this.
Yeah, I mean that happened to me with like Your Lie in April.
Yeah.
That was like a come on.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think that's like a big reason why I haven't visited it. I think I will soon. I want to soon. I have a lot of shows that I want to like try to go revisit because I haven't watched like a lot of anime in a while. I've just been doing like live action. I've been watching like Rick and Morty and all that.
Yeah.
Which again, it stuff like that where like I would be going through like anime like no other, to the point where like I think it's almost like it's formulaic, it's boring and all that, to the point where I had to switch it up. I'm like, let me watch more live action Western stuff. So I watched a lot of like Pixar. Like I went through like a Pixar binge. I went through I just watched Mitchell's vs. the Machines.
I love the art style on that.
So good,
so cool.
And then like trying to think, I watched something else. I don't remember, but like just switching it up like that, like going back to Rick and Morty, that's what I was trying to say. Like I binge watched the shit out of it, and it hit so hard. And sometimes leaving something to go to another thing and having a big like change of pace is something you need to go back into your hobbies, I think.
Yeah,
because I think
I feel definitely hobbies intertwine with each other by the way of affecting your way of thinking. So I guarantee you went to Rick and Morty and all these other things after watching anime and going through all these arcs and character development and all these themes and stuff, and like you're seeing it in now other media and other things, and you're like, wow, this has just changed the experience in a way that I didn't think would. I mean, you tell me.
Yeah, I would say it like opens up your mind a bit. It just, again, it stimulates your mind in a different way. It's almost like when you like work out, right?
Yep.
One of the things, I don't know if you know, they say like you can't be doing the same workout every day for like, you have to confuse your muscles. So pretty much if you're doing push-ups like 100 times a day for like X amount of days, eventually your body gets used to it. You're going to get no growth from it. So you have to put in some sit-ups every now and then, or you have
your pussy.
That's it.
If you're just watching this topic in a vacuum,
watch the previous topic, damn it.
Yeah.
It is your fault for not getting it. But just like little things like that, I think would help do that. At least myself, we've like that has definitely like remedied like that feeling of like, like this is so monotonous, like another anime, okay, let's go get another one, and another one. It's like, another isekai, cool.
Right.
Another show with like,
you're kind of just looking at it at the surface, but it's still tainted.
Yeah, exactly. So just like little things like that I think would help.
A good example of taking a break, I don't know, when it came to dance, taking a break from dance, but even choreography, I remember in my mind, I think the last time I choreographed something was like, I don't know, like high school. Like I was young. And I said, in my mind, no, I don't want to choreograph yet because I don't feel like I'm there yet. So I'm going to take a break from that. I'm going to start learning other people's choreography and learning from that. And I feel like that changed my mentality when it came to choreographing. And then after that, I took a big break from dance in general. But I was still keeping up with the dance community because I love dance. I was watching all my favorite choreographers banging out and stuff. And I feel like that, with taking a break, I would consider that a break, yeah. Taking a break with still consuming like similar media, and then going back into it with all this new knowledge and the break that happened of going back into dance and choreography and doing the IM video that we made. That was revitalizing for sure. I came back and I was like, I remember being here making the choreography and like, wow, this is so different. Like my mind state, my way of thinking, my mentality, the way I think of concepts and how I can incorporate it into a video with the video's concept and the theme of the song and lyrics, all that stuff was so different from when I was in high school. And I remember making it, I'm like, dude, I feel so revitalized to like go back into this interest of mine that I fell out of, and I don't know, it hit different.
Yeah, you feel motivated. You feel you almost perform better.
It hit different. So maybe that's my example of taking a break.
Yeah.
Benefiting a fall off of an interest.
Fair enough.
Yeah.